Happy Passover, everyone! It's Melissa here from Little Kosher Lunch, and once again, there's a Jewish holiday coming up. I'm almost recovered from Purim, so I thought, why not get started talking to you about Passover? We are planning a practice Seder with some friends, so I am going to set my table today using some really everyday items that I have, as well as a few pulled from the garden, basically free table setting items that I really wanted to show you. Since we are not that strict, I just use any dishes for Passover, but if you look to someone more observant than us, they would be getting out their Passover dishes right now and their Passover serving plates. So that's just something that I wanted to clear the air about. My other mission this Passover is to give you some suggestions that will really bring the Passover story to life, maybe bring it to life in a rather literal way. We're gonna go with a River Nile aesthetic, and I've also done, and I'll link up for you up above, I've done a sort of biblical flower arranging video with my kids where we went out into nature and clipped things that were evocative of springtime and the River Nile. Some of those arrangements could also be used for an Easter table, and I have an Easter table video for those of you who are interested in that on my other channel, Melissa Shares, and I'll hook that up for you as well. So I'm hooking you up with so much content, and we will be talking about meal planning for Passover in a separate video, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss that one, because it's going to be a really good one. Okay, so we are going to be using my everyday items. A beautiful white tablecloth. This is secondhand. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Some blue napkins. I have some choices, but I'll probably go dark blue. I have a remnant piece of fabric from a pillow I made. Just some blue cloth for our River Nile. I have a baby. I have a basket, and I recently went down the street to an estate sale, and I picked up these really fun, sort of ancient looking napkin rings. These are, I think, from Anthropology originally, and I thought it would be fun to use this as a theme this year to represent the beasts plague. Last year, my table setting was the frogs and parsley. This year, we're going with a more muted palette, more nature theme, and a River Nile and still some plagues. There are a lot of ways to interpret Passover and Passover themes and looks, but this is what I'm going for this year, and I just wanted to give it to you as some inspiration. So let's get to work. I'm gonna set the table, and we'll see how it looks at the end. Pretty easy table to set, all things considered. I just was using my everyday dishes, silverware, and just a few props that evoke the water and a baby in a basket on the River Nile. I am also using things like upcycled jars from all of my hamantashen that I made and glasses that my neighbor gave me. So it doesn't take that much to invest in a beautiful table. Now, this would not look like a River Nile unless it had those reeds that baby Moses was sort of hiding in. And I even was able to find papyrus, or a type of papyrus that grows sort of wild along the sides of the road and the alleys and all kinds of forgotten back areas of parking lots here in Los Angeles. Jay and Shannon, if you're watching this, these are some of your really beautiful weeds that are growing in the parkway right now. These are like foxtail grasses that I just went out and picked for free. I thought they were so kind of festive and show movement. This is that papyrus, and this actually lasts a really long time. So if you want a long-lived arrangement, papyrus would be it. And lastly, in that flower arranging video that I did, I talked about, Garden of Eden or Mediterranean climate plants. Here I'm using some clippings from a neighborhood olive tree that was kind of hanging over into the road, and a fig. This is from the suckers growing off the base of a fig tree. And I love the smell of fig leaves, the look of them, and I love how mature these little figs are. are. I could even let the children arrange the rest of this table and they would get a huge kick out of it. Now it's gonna be like a couple of weeks until our practice Seder, so I'm going to have to refresh these flowers probably, and I will be setting a children's table and doing mini arrangements for the children, but this is just an aesthetic that I wanted to share with you. I spent no money on floral for this Seder table setup. I am borrowing a baby from my children. I do have my big girl's Seder plate that she made last year. I'm gonna have that all set up with the symbols for Seder time. I have a box of matzah ready. We'll set up just a plate with matzah. And there are many supplies that I usually set off to the side on a bar cart, and I go over that in last year's Seder video that I'll link up for you. So there's lots to binge watch. Let me know down below what you're doing for your Seder this year, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Take care.